tension, based on real events. James, the main character of the story, was born and raised in Chicago. Almost every summer he and his friends went to Miami to relax. That year was no different. They spent the day sunbathing, making noise, laughing, and didn't notice how dark it got. By the time they were getting ready to leave, the clock had already struck midnight. Tired but happy, the guys headed back into the city. On the shoulder, they spotted a pretty blonde standing alone, trying to hitch a ride. "Let's slow down and give the beauty a lift. Dibs on her." One of the friends giggled. They stopped the car and rolled down the window. The jokester leaned out and shouted, "Hop in, gorgeous. We'll give you a ride." And then he froze. His face went slack. "Floor it. Punch it," he howled. "She has hooves." The driver, as if remembering the local legend about the hoofed girl who roams at night, stomped the pedal. All 87 horses under the hood roared. The girl didn't fall behind. Cackling ominously, she ran alongside, falling back for a second, then appearing in the window again, drilling her gaze into the very guy who'd invited her in. They tore up to one of the guy's houses, but didn't dare get out. She was circling the car like a shark around its prey. Her laughter kept breaking into hissing, then turning hoarse, like from an old radio. Their hands shook. The guys muttered prayers however they could. It went on until dawn. When the sky lightened, the creature let out a wail, smashed the bumper with a hoof, and vanished. Silence fell at once, as if someone had switched off the sound. They got off almost scot-free. The driver later had to replace the bumper, and the wisecracker who'd offered to give the beauty a lift climbed out of the car completely gray-haired. Since then, James doesn't pick up anyone on the highway. Next scary story. One woman told me a story. Because of circumstances, when she was young, she moved to live in a village. The village was completely unfamiliar to her. No relatives, no acquaintances. Yet she settled in there quite well. One summer day, she went into the forest to pick berries. She gathered a few wild strawberries into her basket and suddenly noticed a small glade. On it lay a whole sea of red berries. Delighted, she bent down to pick them, and at that moment felt a sharp pain in her lower back. She doubled over and couldn't straighten up. Then she heard someone walking along the path. She looked back. It was an old woman. The old woman came up and asked, "What's the matter?" "My back seized up," the girl replied. The crone shook her head sternly. "Foolish girl, this is the devil's clearing. What brought you here? Your back seized because the devil sat on it. You can't see him, and you'll even drag him home with you." "I'll help you," said the old woman. She made the sign of the cross over the girl and began to recite the Our Father. The girl's pain vanished at once. When they returned to the village, the old woman sprinkled her with holy water, gave her some to take with her, and told her to bless the walls at home. Otherwise it will latch on and never let go. That girl, by the way, was my fellow passenger on a train and told me all of this herself. Next scary story. This story happened to a girl who moved to China in 2018 and had already been living there for 2 years by that point. She rented a small apartment in a convenient neighborhood and hardly ever spoke with the landlady. One day in the middle of the month, a utility bill arrived. The girl paid it that same day. In the evening, the landlady burst into the apartment and, from the doorway, started shouting that the payment was far too little and that she had to pay 3 months in advance. It seemed strange. As she left, the landlady muttered through her teeth, "You'll regret this. You won't sleep peacefully." That very night, the girl woke with a clear sense that someone was watching her. Sleep vanished in an instant, but her body felt like cotton. It was hard to move, her throat clenched. She realized she wasn't alone in the apartment, and a wave of horror rose in her, goosebumps running over her whole body. With an effort, she turned her head toward the desk about a meter from the bed. Before going to sleep, it had been cleared off, the laptop closed. Now, on the laptop's lid, sat something like a big lynx or cat, about half a meter tall, dark, with motionless eyes. It didn't blink. It only breathed heavily, and she could hear that breath distinctly, as if someone were blowing into an empty bottle in the room. The girl tried to recite prayers, but no voice came. Her throat felt cinched tight, like with a strap. Fear suddenly flipped to anger. She tried to scream and, choking on curses, spat toward the creature. May a strip of fire scorch you from tail to crown, and may you break your hind legs. The creature bristled, hissed, and lunged at her. At that very moment, the room reeked sharply of burnt fur. The laptop screen flared and went dark. Trembling, the girl dove under the blanket and stayed there until dawn with her phone's flashlight on. In the morning, when she went to the mirror, she noticed a gray streak on her crown about the size of a coin. Later, she tried different dyes. None of them took to that gray. The creature didn't appear again. A month later, the landlady came back, on crutches, her legs bandaged. A dark streak of a burn ran along her neck and the back of her head. She wouldn't meet her eyes, quickly grabbed the receipts, and left. Over the next year, everything in the apartment was quiet and calm. Only the gray streak remained, as a reminder of that night. Thanks for watching until the next scary stories.